12 stone, 13 3/4 pounds. Day 21, end of the fast. Lightest I've been in 30 years. 48 hours later, 13 stone, 8 pounds. 7.8 pounds back on in 2 days. I wasn't shocked, I'd done the research, but seeing the number still stung. Here's what actually happens during refeed. The science, the surprises, and the one thing that vanished after 25 years. Your digestive system's been on a 3-week holiday. Feet up, margarita in hand, not a care in the world. Monday morning, you don't storm back into the office and immediately present to the board of directors. You ease in. First meal after 21 days, vegetable soup. Warm, gentle, easy to digest. Maybe an hour later, poached egg. Light protein, no shock to the system. Dr. Frederica Amati's research shows your gut lining and microbiome need time to adapt. Gentle, easy to digest foods help wake up your digestive enzymes. Rush it, skip straight to a heavy meal, and your gut will go on strike. Cramps, bloating, possibly the loo for an hour. 3 bowel movements on day 1, no negative symptoms. Digestion was waking up nicely. But the scale, that bloody scale. Day 22, 13 stone, 4 pounds, up 4.2 pounds from the fast end. Day 23, 13 stone, 8, up 7.8 pounds. Day 24, I was holding at 13.7. Alan Aragon's work explains this perfectly. First week weight gain during refeed is glycogen plus water, not fat regain. Think of glycogen like 50 quid in the glove box for car parks, coffees. Fasting emptied it completely. Now you're refilling it. 1 gram of glycogen holds 3 to 4 grams of water. That's the weight. Your muscle stores about 300 to 500 grams of glycogen. Your liver stores another 100 grams. Add it up. 400 to 600 grams of glycogen times 4 for water retention. That's 1,600 to 2,400 grams. 3.5 to 5.5 pounds just from glycogen refill alone. Add sodium from food, water retention, blood volume returning to normal, gut content, you're eating again, it's got to stay somewhere. And boom, 5 to 8 pounds in 48 hours. Expected, it's normal, and it's not fat. But I'm not going to lie, watching the numbers climb, it still felt like failure. I'd been planning this for weeks, and I had a load of new fermented food recipes sat in the cupboard, all bubbling away, waiting for the refeed. Professor Tim Spector's research at King Colleges London shows fermented foods reduce inflammation differently than fibre alone. Different mechanisms, both essential. Professor Nicola Segata's work confirms your microbiome diversity drives metabolic health. Bad bugs love junk food. It's easy to feed them. Good bugs are picky, specialised. They need variety. I ate fermented foods with every meal. Kimchi with eggs, sauerkraut with lunch, kefir smoothies, pickled onions with dinner. Day 1 refeed, digestion stayed calm. Day 3 bowel movements, regular. No bloating, no discomfort. By day 7, gut felt stronger than before the fast. Numerous fermented varieties meant numerous bacterial strains. More diversity equals better digestion, mood regulation, appetite control, inflammation reduction. Fermentation isn't a fad, it's foundational. But this is the bit nobody prepared me for. Gout for 25 years. Since I was in my 20s, visible uric acid crystals build up on my big toe joint. Lumpy, uncomfortable, and occasionally painful. Alpurinol for years. I'd stopped that 18 months earlier. Day 24, refeed day 3, I looked down at my toe and the crystals had all but disappeared. Not reduced, disappeared. I put on Birkenstocks that I haven't been able to wear for years because of the toe pain, and I walked 4 miles in them. No flinch, no discomfort, nothing. 25 years of gout crystal build-up, gone in 3 days of refeeding. Here's what I think happened. Autophagy doesn't stop the moment you start eating. Dr. Frederica Amati's research shows it ramps down gradually, not instantly. Your body's still processing cellular debris for days, possibly weeks post-fast. The fast created the cleanup. The refeed provided nutrients for repair. Autophagy continued during refeed, clearing those old uric cell deposits like the bin lorry finishing its round. Visible proof fasting benefits don't end at your first bite. Your shifting phases, not ending healing. Up £5 over the first 6 days, then lost £3 over the next 4 days. I settled at £2 gain from the Refeed bounce. Final stabilisation was 13 stone 9 pounds. £7 lighter than the Refeed peak had got to. Throughout this, I maintained intermittent fasting. I started on day 1 at 12:12 with a 12-hour window, and by the end of the first week, I'd naturally tightened it back down to my 17:7, which is my favoured eating window. My body didn't demand constant food, it had adapted. Professor Tim Spector's work on time-restricted eating shows early shifted regimes, finishing meals by 6-7 p.m, shows better biomarker outcomes, especially glucose control. I wasn't trying to be perfect, the window just compressed naturally. One slip, nut binge on day 5, cashews, almonds, walnuts, ate too many, ate them too fast, gut racing for the exit within an hour. That's what happens when you overwhelm a recovering digestive system. Lesson was learned, ease in. Even on day 5, your gut is still waking up. Apart from that, calm, no bloating, no discomfort. The fermented foods definitely did their job. Soups definitely provided a gentle bulk. And my gut bacteria woke up without drama. Professor Nicola Segata's research explains why. During extended fasting, certain gut bacteria go dormant. They don't die, they're just not thriving. When you reintroduce food, especially fibre-rich fermented foods, those bacteria wake up and multiply. A diverse microbiome is linked to better mood, improved digestion, more stable appetite signals. You're not just refilling the glove box, you're rebuilding the entire internal ecosystem. Think of it like a garden. You've let it rest over winter, now you're planting seeds and feeding the soil. Results take time, but the foundation matters. Refeed weight gain was 3 to 7 pounds after the initial Refeed bounce in the first week. Mine peaked at 7.8 and it settled down at 2. Normal glycogen refill, 1 gram of glycogen holds 3 to 4 grams of water. That's the weight, not fat. Fermented foods were essential, not optional for me. Speed of gut recovery, reduced bloating risk. Autophagy continuation doesn't stop at the first bite. Gout crystals were clearing on day 3. My body regulated appetite without force. 7 days of refeeding, weight was up, then down, then settled. Gout crystals vanished after 25 years. Gut health rebuilding with various fermented foods. Digestion was calm, but then something unexpected happened. Part 4 next week, the allergy return, the sit-up mystery, the lessons 18 months later. And would I do 21 days again? Would I change the long-term sustainable approach? The 14-day rhythm reset walks you through the basics of a refeeding protocol, and it's in the description down below. If you're thinking of fasting beyond 72 hours, please do speak to your GP about safe refeeding protocols, especially if you're on medication or have existing health conditions.